Makes a lot of content on this deck. I'm sure knows it like the back of his hand.
Yeah, speaking of pet decks on the other side, Raymond Long previously winning not too long ago with basically the exact same list here as we see the Kyogre featured once more from this great player. It's going to be exciting to see both these players battle it out, see who's favored here, because this matchup can go either way.
I gotta say, Kyle, I did have Kyogre in my predictions, so I'm kind of biased toward Raymond Long in this.
Well, Manaphy's in the prize card, so you might be doing all right here. That's a pretty pivotal piece.
Yeah, that is definitely a pivotal piece. These prize cards are interesting on both players' sides. A couple of switch cards here for Raymond Long in the prize cards. A couple of late game cards as well. Super Rod, Energy Recycler, but hopefully we can get to those before they're needed. I mean, Energy Recycler, we'll see how that comes into play, but we got others. So yeah, I think these players are ready to kick things off. Two notable players. They know these decks very well, and we're going to get some great gameplay out of this match. Let's head into the Swiss round 7, Kyle.
Both great innovators of their individual decks. We've seen so many different players playing the Kyogre list with a lot of different strategies. They play with the Dragonite, the Raikou, they play that turbo style. Not Raymond. Raymond has the metal energies in there, focused on the Zamazenta and making you earn every single prize card. Only that Pidgeot V for the Forest Sealstone.
Absolutely. Yep, we're starting over here on Raymond Long's side. We already have this flower selecting here, popping off, as well as a nest ball.
It looks like a solid start, and on the other side, Jared with a pretty great hand too. This could be a fantastic opener here to see which player could potentially reach 19 match points, locking in day 2 quite early here. Yeah,
that would be awesome, and a huge weight lifted off of your shoulders as well. You just need one more win here to be into day 2. This is a win and in match, so both these players are going to be fully focused on that. I mean, let's just talk about how Raymond Long just took down Peoria, is now here with a 5-0 record as well, and already has an invite to the World Championship from that win. So
that's right. I mean, you get a taste of victory, you want to come right back and get another one, and is in a great position to do just that. Already a card in the loss zone. Would love to see a few more there. Feel like if you get 2 in the loss zone on this opening turn, you feel pretty comfortable with an aggressive spot, either for a Radiant Greninja or playing it slow with the Cramorant. Just depends with this deck, as you don't go for that aggressive Dragonite, obviously.
Yeah, it's going to be a slower build-up here for sure for Raymond Long. Also, Raymond is our Canadian player that we're rooting on here today as well. We haven't, I think this is actually, Raymond's our first Canadian we've seen on the stream here today. Of course, 2 Canadians have already took down our NA regional championships, and Raymond looking to go the distance here. We're going to see that concealed cards off that Radiant Greninja as well, drawing into 2 additional cards for this turn 1.
I mean, that is like a bulk pre-release energy that we're seeing there. You just won a regional for $10,000. We can't get a little more cooler energies in there? But hey, you know, gotta respect the fact that you're going with the bare bones. Oh, well, we lost Kyogre.
Oh my goodness. Kyogre's gone here.
Yep.
Gonna have to be recycled back in to get that later on, but Zamazenta's at least joining the field.
Yep, still 3 Super Rod in the list, so obviously can find that at the right time. It's only 1 Comfey. That's not ideal.
1 Comfey. It's just going to be the attached to that Comfey and the active. And Jared Grimes is kicking things off on this turn 1 with Shivery Chill. Immediately going into the deck here to search out those 2 basic water energy and also take a look through. This ability is amazing because you just pop straight in, see what your resources are, see what you're missing, kind of get a lay of the land for what's in your deck, and is going to see immediately that Manaphy is missing out of the deck.
Yeah, some water energies are always nice to add to the hand, thin down the deck a little more so that you can start to draw up. But we've got the Nest Ball, the VIP Pass. There's going to be plenty of action here. I want to note that it's interesting that Raymond did have to play the Pokestop. Generally, you hold that resource so that your opponent doesn't find potentially that VIP Pass that they have in their hand. But that's how important it was for Raymond to find Comfey that turn. Missed, and it was huge. This is going to slow him down tremendously.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to see. And then your opponent really has the chance to also play off of it too if they so choose. This is an interesting card here. Yeah, this is the Spice. Jared Grimes, as we've said, has been playing Chien-Pao for a long time. A huge supporter of this deck. and is still playing with this Rotom V. Kyle, walk us through this Rotom V and how it adds utility to this deck versus a standard Chien-Pao list.
Yeah, I'm going first with this deck. Kind of stinks. You just sit there, do nothing. Instead, now you have the opportunity to use Instant Charge, draw some additional cards. You're not even attacking on when you're going second either.
Yeah.
It just takes that time to get the back caliber, so easily just draw up those 3 cards. Also, it allows you an opportunity to use Forest Sealstone in this deck, which is fantastic. I've played this for an entire tournament at Peoria, never even needed a V-Star marker, so Jared's going to make sure to use that.
Yeah, definitely getting that extra utility out of the Forest Sealstone. That is huge if you have to put together some combo pieces. Maybe saves you in the late game. So that, you know, this is kind of a setup deck, a combo deck that you have to put pieces together to make sure it works. Irida is actually our supporter of choice to find those combination pieces here for Jared Grimes, and that's what we're seeing right now. Of course, this is Jared Grimes' first turn going second, so able to play that supporter. We're going to see that Hisuian Heavy Ball as well as that water Pokemon being drawn out there for Jared, which of course is that Frigibax.
Yeah, very important to find the Hisuian Heavy Ball, search out that Manaphy, and get it on the board as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Need to protect these Pokemon, protect the Frigibax so that it can turn into the Baxcalibur on the next turn, and it's going to mull over the options, all one of them.
Mulling over, but also memorizing, of course, what is still in there if Jared didn't already see what was missing out of the deck. So now knows the prize cards, of course, has to shuffle them back up and rearrange them unknowingly there. But now we have that Manaphy to lock down this board state and protect all of those Frigibax that are scarily kind of just unprotected without that. So this is huge here for Jared. We're going to see the Pokestop as well, netting 2 additional cards, that Rare Candy and a Canceling Cologne.
Yeah, how intimidating to see the hand that Jared's accumulated. 3 more cards added by the Rotom V. And Raymond does not play a way to disrupt the hand, at least this early in the game. Sometimes you see players use that Roxanne, which we do see in Raymond's list, but not this turn. Jared's got a very good opportunity to go Candy Baxcalibur.
Yeah, definitely. Candy Baxcalibur, that's not what you want to see, but Jared is on that path. I mean, look how many cards are in the hands, but hopefully Raymond's Long can have a little bit of a better turn here on this turn 2. We're starting off with the Colress's Experiment, so that's always nice, as long as the decisions aren't too difficult here for Raymond's.
It's nice to see plenty of cards in the early game. Haven't seen the Comfey just yet either, so
yeah,
a second one of those would be nice. And then maybe a card like Lost Vacuum would be useful here. You can remove that Pokestop and just continue to keep burning through. Looks like in the decisions to make here, there's a Forest Sealstone, a Nest Ball, a Mirage Gate, all sorts of access to the deck here.
Wow. Yeah, well, 2 of these cards are going to have to go into the Lost Zone here. It's going to be a Mirage Gate for the first card. 1 more card has to join the Lost Zone, bumping that marker up, and then the rest, all 3 of those cards will go to the hand. So adding some extra stuff here for Raymond Long, but that Forest Sealstone is going to join the Lost Zone as well.
You can see just how detrimental it would have been without the Manaphy in a spot like this. It's 4 cards in the Lost Zone easily with a card like that Lost Vacuum and 1 more Comfey. You can see 7, and then Mirage Gate activates that Radiant Greninja could knock out both Frigibax. The game's basically sealed.
Yeah, exactly. If you lose both your Frigibax, you have no way to accelerate those energy from your hand, and it just gets real detrimental from there. So definitely great for Jared Grimes to have that Manaphy down. Raymond Long still churning through this turn here. We see the concealed cards having already been used. We see that Flower Selecting being used as well. Cramorant's going to join the board here for Raymond's.
Yep, just slow and steady pace. This is a reactive build. You're going to promote a threat like Cramorant, but you're not expecting to do anything relevant. Just put some chip damage on the board, wait for that knockout to occur, and then use that Zamazenta to potentially take some prize cards on a Pokemon like a Rotom or a clean Chien-Pao.
Yeah, that would be great to see. It's going to be a grind here to who can get these prize cards first. It is a race indeed. I guess on paper, how does this matchup usually look, Kyle?
Well,
is there one person that's more favored?
I would say that Jared's favored only because if his deck draws perfectly, he has opportunities to use the Canceling Cologne on a Pokemon like Manaphy and find some great options. But you can see, look at the strategy from Raymond.
Yeah.
There's no good Moonlight Shuriken target here. It's genius. You only leave the Comfey there. You see Jared even checking the discard pile. Is there any opportunity to do anything there? No, you can just take one prize card, or you can attack with a Chien-Pao, and if you take a knockout here, Zamazenta takes an easy 2-prize swing.
Yeah, just swings back there and takes a knockout as a response, and that's where things could get tricky. We'll have to see how Jared Grimes chooses to navigate this turn. Going to start us off with a Pokestop here.
Yeah, Jared is not afraid to throw away resources. This is how this deck works. You throw cards left and right, and eventually you just find the right pieces to keep on fighting. There's not a great attacker for this spot, however. It may just be Chien-Pao and then figure it out.
I'm trying to think, what did Jared get off of that Pokestop?
It was a Nest Ball and a Superior, I believe.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so we're going to see that Arvin that's going to search out a Cross Switcher here and a Forest Seal Stone for the tool card for Jared. As we spoke about, that Forest Seal Stone can be played down onto that Rotom, allowing it to use a V-Star power. So that's extra things Jared is able to do in the future of this match whenever he pleases. I mean, look at this huge hands Jared has accumulated here. It is ginormous. We already have the double Cross Switcher in hands here, able to be used. Radiant Greninja is going to get an energy here in the active, and I think that was just a pass over to Raymond.
No, he said backs.
Oh,
he was saying where the energy was coming
from.
What?
Oh, Raymond was like, what happened? Okay, cool. Excalibur, of course, with that ability to accelerate the energy onto the board. So, yeah, we're going to see a lot of energy flying out here from Jared.
Yeah, this is a tough call. You can either go after the Comfey and probably avoid or make it more difficult for 7 cards to go into the Lost Zone. It probably would happen anyways. Or you knock out the Zamazenta, force the Super Rod, and some other combinations of cards if he wants the return knockout.
Oh.
You can see Raymond just checking. How many Nest Ball am I down? Because Rod plus Nest Ball is basically the one great way to search out the Zamazenta from here on out.
All right, so here we go. This Chien-Pao EX getting powered up here with those 2 energy needed for this Hail Blade move.
I think it's 3 with the ability on there. Zama, you need to do a little more.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
And it's 130.
No, there's only 2 required.
Oh, okay.
But for the discard, the actual attack is to discard the energy for the extra damage. So yeah, 3 would be needed to take that knock.
If we're attacking the Zamazenta for a not knockout, I'm just lost.
No. Well, there we go. Zamazenta has been wiped off the field now. Of course, that Chien-Pao EX Metal Weak there. So that liability is off the field, at least for now. And Jared can maybe breathe a little bit easier there. Raymond's long over here on this side. Now that Jared's taken that first prize card, is re-establishing the board here. Comfey, of course, in the active position now. Starting off with a concealed card to draw into 2 additional cards into a Colress's Experiment.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for Raymond. Look at the board state. You see the damage on the Radiant Greninja, the Manaphy there as well. If you can reach 10 cards in the Lost Zone, which sounds difficult, but really isn't. It's just 1 Comfey, 1 switching effect, and a Lost Vacuum away from happening. You could easily work in the Sableye, take a double knockout there, and then start to work on these Pokemon EX or V.
Yep, we are slowly seeing those cards hit that Lost Zone. That's exactly what you want to be seeing here into this flower selecting after that Colress's Experiment.
That's a Comfey.
Yep, Battle VIP pass going into the Lost Zone. Comfey gonna join us? Ooh, Pokestop first here. Let's see what it is. Ooh, 2 items there. Both ball cards, Hisuian Heavy Ball, as well as a Nest Ball here for Raymond's. Gonna go into the prize cards with that Hisuian Heavy Ball. See what's there, see what's missing. see if there's any Pokemon to trade.
Yeah, and that nest ball, we spoke about that earlier. It's a nice find as it opens up the opportunity for the Super Rod in combination with the Zamazenta to come back into play. Then you can knock out this Chien-Pao for 2 easy prize cards. Just depends on what combinations of cards he has left in hand in order to take 2 prizes this turn.
Yup, that is very true. That Sableye being drawn out of the prize cards here off of that Hisuian heavy ball. So that ball is just going to replace it real quick. Raymond taking some time to note what is in the prize cards as well. Keeping track of resources. One of the most important things to do when you're playing any Lost Zone deck, especially this one, which is very intricate as far as resources go.
And this is just back and forth. Look at the hand sizes for both players. You can do whatever you want every turn. So always just assume the worst that your opponent can do. They're definitely going to have that option going into next turn.
Yeah, and I mean, the biggest thing too is like your own decision making. You can't make any mistakes at this point, because if you do, if you slip up, your opponent can just capitalize off of that immediately. So both of these players are having to make the exact routes, the most optimal routes every single turn.
All right, is this the turn where you can bench a second Comfey as you think you can knock out the Radiant Greninja? You're not worried about the threat of it coming down using Moonlight Shuriken against you? There's so much back and forth that Raymond's contemplating.
Yeah, it is definitely a tough decision for sure, but we're going to have to see something be done here from Raymond Long. Looks like it's going to be the Nest Ball searching out a Pokemon here from the deck.
Is this Pidgeot, perhaps? I don't know what else is really left to find out. The Manaphy certainly would work as well.
That's true. Yeah, it's going to be that Manaphy being sought out of the deck here off of that Nest Ball, bringing a basic Pokemon down.
Yeah, Manaphy is just a Pokemon in this matchup that doesn't make as much of an impact just because you know there's 2 canceling Colognes waiting on the other side.
Yeah, and we've seen them too off that Pokestop.
Oh, they're there.
You know they're in this deck. So, and you know they're in the hands.
Right. So this could be just a true counterplay from Raymond. Play down everything, work the Sableye in, knock out the Radiant Greninja. Say, not only do you need to Super Rod this Pokemon back and bring it back into play, but you better have double Cross Switcher and Canceling Cologne if you want to capitalize here.
Yep, putting everything out on the field here. Lost Zone is now up to 8 cards there. Still looking at the hand for Raymond. We're going to see that Escape Rope coming down. Jared has to choose first who to promote into the active position before Raymond Long is going to promote a Pokemon as well.
This is without a Sableye in play, and we've already seen both Comfeys used.
Yep.
So might be a slower turn than we were anticipating.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at what else is in the hand here, but yeah, it's just going to be the Cramorant being brought up. Ooh, Bird. Flying in. Filling up the bench here, but it's just going to be a hit with the Cramorant. Lost Zone still remaining at 8 cards there. That's 110 damage off the Cramorant onto that Rotom V. And Jared Grimes, again, look at this hand. It's practically half the deck in the hand here for Jared. And he knows this deck so well. I'm sure he is definitely going to make some difficult decisions here. But I think is doing well for himself in this match. Yeah,
this looks great. Chien-Pao to the active, search out some of those energies. Looks like it's just 1 left, but no fear. There's plenty of superior energy retrieval to continue to find those energies. And from this point, still have access to the Pokestop, the Radiant Greninja, so many ways to draw cards. You have to expect that Manaphy is going to fall this turn, along with potentially a Comfey.
Ooh, can't wait to see it, Kyle. I'm excited for sure. We're going to see that concealed cards drawing into 2 additional cards there. That Spiritomb as well as the Battle VIP Pass.
Spooky.
Spooky. Perfect for the weekend. Ooh, Pokestop here.
Oh, that's another Chien-Pao down.
Yeah, that is kind of not what you want to see there. And for a Battle VIP Pass as well, nothing of utility being drawn there. The deck is being thinned out, I suppose, here, but Jared Grimes going to take a quick look at the discard, and we're going to see this first superior energy retrieval. Well, that is one thing Battle VIP Pass is good for, some discard fodder, right?
Yeah, checks out.
Yep, and these energy cards here are going to go straight back to your hand. This is indeed a superior energy retrieval. Its name does it justice, that's for sure. And I love, too, that Jared Grimes, this deck list really is quite different from the usual Chien-Pao that we've been seeing succeed. It's doing so well in tournaments. So I'm happy to see that Jared Grimes has kind of held true to the way that he thinks this deck should be built and played. Because, I mean, there's a ton that don't even play that superior energy retrieval.
Right. I mean, he believes he has a competitive edge playing this style, and it's certainly working out for him. Jared, it looks like he had the opportunity to take the prize cards with the Manaphy, but it would include using the Forest Sealstone, and he's not comfortable with that right now. Wants to save that opportunity for later, and I definitely understand that. This is an interesting spot here, as you're probably going to lose some prize cards, and you're going to want answers down the road.
Well, we're still going to see that knockout there on the Cramorant. Going to scoop some snow on top of it, knock it into the discard pile here. Jared Grimes, only 4 prize cards left to take here. Now we're over to Raymond Long's side. So Lasso needs to be bumped up here for Raymond to start getting some things happening on the board.
Yeah, just at 8 right now, so Comfey could certainly assist in finding some more resources. Radiant Greninja going to do that as well, and it has to be getting close to a Sableye turn. But if the resources are there to find Zamazenta, maybe you just take the 2 prize cards that are in front of you.
Yeah, that is very true. We're seeing that additional card from that flower selecting go into the Lost Zone. I think the concealed cards also got 2 energy out of the deck, I believe, for Raymond.
Wow, 6 cards remaining in deck?
Already? I mean, I guess we've gone through quite a bit.
Yeah, there's not much. You think Raymond would have access to a lot of resources here, but there's an energy retrieval and a super rod in the prize cards.
Yeah, I was talking about how there's 2 late game cards in the prize cards, and hopefully we could take some prize cards to hopefully draw into them, but hasn't happened yet here for Raymond.
Little cheat code there to use the switch card. That's approved.
All right, here we go. Lost Zone up to 10 now with the addition of that beach court.
Oh, Jared immediately knows what's happening here.
Yes.
Looks at his hands and says, oh, well, I lost Chien-Pao. Now what do I do? I mean, they're basically playing hands up at this point.
Yeah,
whatever your best play
true.
is should be available.
You know it's there.
Super Rod, Nest Ball, Zamazenta, search out the energies with the Mirage Gate. Easy knockout on that Chien-Pao.
Yep, and I'm sure Jared, as you said, definitely sees that coming. Zamazenta is one of the mortal enemies at this point in this tournament for that Chien-Pao. It's not what you want to see, because you're attacking, you're good to go, and then you're just wiped off the field completely. And hopefully Raymond can draw into some additional cards. I think they were on the bottom, at least one of them, for the later game, which, I mean, really at this point, we kind of are in those stages if we don't see any shuffling of the hands back into the deck.
Yeah, this is, I mean, you can see the map. It's very clear for Raymond. After this knockout here, you have Sableye that can come into play, knock out the Radiant Greninja and the Manaphy, and then follow up with an easy knockout on that Rotom V for the 4 prizes you need to close out the game. And it's so simple from this point. You only have, what, 5 cards left in deck? You will find what you need.
You know
I promise
it's there.
you that.
Yeah, Raymond Long going through this effortlessly here. I mean, you can see why Raymond is a regional champion with this very deck as well. So Jared Grimes over here on the other side. Chien-Pao is gone now off the field. It's just going to be a Frigibax joining us in the active, and we're going to get through this turn, starting off with a concealed cards for a superior energy retrieval, as well as a lost vacuum.
Oh. Order. Unfortunate there to find all of the item cards with Radiant Greninja and then draw into just only a rare candy with the Pokestop.
Oh, you think it should have been the reverse?
No, I'm just trolling them. You never know until you see.
Yeah, that is very true. Well, we are going to see that Forest Sealstone finally come down here. I mean, it's been in the hand for a long time for Jared, but it is now going to be utilized. It wasn't used before for that Manaphy play. It's now being flipped over here. You only get one V-Star power if you have the ability to use one per game. So going to draw out a single card from the deck, and it's going to be that Irida, which is going to go straight into the deck as well for an item card and a water Pokemon.
Yeah, Raymond very excited to see that this is not Iono. That's one way that potentially he runs into a situation where he doesn't have the answer immediately lined up, although he did play down all of those cards. But that's not a card that's featured here. Just going with the 4 Irida, 1 Arven in this list for Jared. And maybe Baxcalibur is going to put in some work.
Yeah, true. That is very true. You could always attack with it. I mean, it does have that, what was it called?
Buster tail. Yeah, one of those.
We got that Buster tail, 130 damage.
We're gonna wait a little bit on that. Canceling Cologne, Manaphy in the active. Radiant Greninja is looking thirsty.
Thirsty indeed. I mean, yeah, this was the play we were talking about a couple turns earlier here, but now Jared Grimes is going to bring that Canceling Cologne out, cancel out that Manaphy, and be able to attack here into those other bench Pokemon with the Radiant Greninja.
Well, I mean, if Jared didn't use both cross switchers on that first turn, maybe there's a world where he could have targeted down this Pidgeot V and actually found a way to close the game out next turn. As we see the Spiritomb in play, it's shutting off the ability.
Yeah, that's true. You can't throw it back into the deck. Yep, that Spiritomb, those V Pokemon not having any abilities there. So it is kind of stuck on the field here for Raymond.
But there's just no other way to move Pokemon here. 4 cross switchers down, no boss's orders in the list.
It's interesting, though, to note that that is a potential possibility for maybe next game, but obviously Raymond now knows.
Like, okay,
there's a Spiritomb there.
Don't bench Pidgeot for fun.
Yeah, for fun, yeah. I know, we were so happy when it came out. Oh, it's a bird. But no, it is actually a liability potentially facing off with that Spiritomb. But here we go. We're going to see these energy come out thanks to that super cold on the Baxcalibur. Accelerating some energies here.
Yeah, Jared knows that this is a Roxanne kind of turn. So play the energies down, load up the Baxcalibur just in case you draw into nothing off those 2 cards.
Yeah.
As this is the one susceptibility that Jared's list has. No Bieberol, it can't draw up after it loses its hand.
Yeah, that is very true. So we're going to have to see some, definitely some safety plays there with those energy. Some potential Buster Tails in the future. But there we go. Thanks to that Canceling Cologne, that Manaphy and a Comfey are going to be knocked out here on Raymond's side. Jared Grimes going down to just 2 prize cards left to take. What's Raymond Long going to do from here, Kyle?
Sableye. I think it's pretty clear at this point that would be a solid Pokemon to incorporate, but the Roxanne as well would be very nice.
Yeah.
You drop that hand very low for Jared, leave them only with the Baxcalibur, and if you have basically the checkmate of double Sableye in play, both with Psychic Energies, I don't see a way that you can lose this game.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what Raymond has been aiming for this whole time. At least that's kind of what the decisions have led to at this point. We're going to see a concealed cards here first. Oh, maybe Super Rod here before the concealed cards.
Yeah, just considerations whether he needs to target the Manaphy again, as that is one way that you could lose this game. You could see Jared cycle back in that Radiant Greninja if that is a Pokemon removed from play, which clearly it looks like it will be. So maybe it's Sableye, Manaphy, and to knock out on a Sableye and either that Manaphy or the Spiritomb, either one.
Yeah, either way, it's going to get spooky in here. We already have the Spiritomb down. Sableye is going to be joining us as well.
Hey, these are my choices.
That's true.
I chose the 2 spooky dudes.
You did. Was that on purpose, Kyle?
Sure.
There you go. All right, Raymond Long drawing that final card here off the flower selecting.
He
throwing
decked
it
out.
into the lost zone.
You win.
What?
I'm kidding.
I was like, what are you talking about, Kyle? What? You scared me.
He's got plenty of cards left in there. He's
Yeah.
going to be fine.
I was like, oh, we don't have a way to recycle?
Could you
Oh,
imagine
my gosh.
Kyogre without a way to recycle here?
Hey, I don't know, man. There's a lot of cards flying all around here,
Hey, if we're not playing around Crabominable, what are we doing here?
but stop. That's so funny. All right, here we go. Sableye coming into the active position here. And there you see it. You predicted it for sure, and I'm sure Jared knew it was coming as well.
Yeah.
So we saw those energy come down onto the back's caliber as well. Get those out of the hand. Prepare for this exact moment. Roxanne here. You can only play this card if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining. And both players going to shuffle up the hands. Raymond's going to get 6 cards. Jared, just 2 cards.
Would you rather have
Ooh.
6 cards or 2 cards?
I don't know. I'm going to say 6.
Tough call. Well, it depends which cards they are.
That's true, yeah.
Looks like plenty of energies. Not another Sableye just yet. So
Could be
avenues potentially opening up.
What about on Jared's side here? Superior energy?
I mean, that's
retrieval?
the best card you can find, honestly. Just access to energies is all you need to
Yeah,
just
that's
continue
true.
to attack. You need to attack twice,
I mean,
likely with Baxcalibur.
that does mean whatever card is being top decked is going to be a discard to get energies. back.
There's nothing good left.
There's nothing left in the deck. Jared's got it all out on the field here. Raymond just choosing where to put these damage counters now on for this Lost Mine.
Raymond's considering cashing in on the Rotom V knockout too. Just access to more prize cards. If you don't believe your opponent's going to disrupt your hand, then why not? All right, that's a double knockout for 3 prize cards. Soften up the Spiritomb, and it seems like the writing's on the wall, but Jared's going to continue. You have to play to your outs, and right now the out is knock out this Sableye and lose to a Zamazenta.
Yeah. That is very true, Kyle. That is the current situation that we are certainly in, and Jared sees that too.
Yeah.
There's a fully loaded Zamazenta ready to knock out my Pokemon, and Raymond Long is going to take the win in this first game between these players.
Yeah, that just lines up so well to knock out that Pokemon, take the 3 prize cards, and then you just have win on board with the Zamazenta. You don't even need to find any other pieces, and that's so well piloted there from Raymond. I have to go back to the single Comfey opening. Like, he calculated that. He says, I don't want to give those additional prize cards up, and it worked out flawlessly. As we'll jump back in time to 2.5 minutes ago.
Yeah, true. 2.5 minutes ago, we see these final damage counters being put out here. This is going to lock up a 3 prize card knockout, both on the Rotom V and that Radiant Greninja, and it's going to put Jared Grimes into a bit of a checkmate here. And slowly after that, Jared chose to just concede this match, seeing that I'm just going to lose next turn anyway.
Yeah, that's no fun. Yeah,
There's nothing I could do.
Jared's definitely going to learn from that experience. The cross switcher seemed a little too preemptive, knocking out a Pokemon that wasn't terribly helpful in that situation. And maybe there was a world where you surprise with the Spiritomb, knock out the Pidgeot, and can take a big surprise win there with those last 2 prize cards.
Yep, absolutely. Would you have liked to see that Manaphy turn sooner, Kyle?
You could work for it sooner. I think the issue was just when you use the cross switchers, you better be taking 2 prize cards.
That's true,
That was not how that worked there.
Got to get that full utilization. Well, I'll tell you something I'm not surprised at all is just the play from Raymond Long. I mean, you can see why Raymond is a regional champion with this deck as well. I mean, it just seemed fully mapped out there. Besides a couple of obstacles with the prize cards, some really tricky flower selecting and colorless experiment options, but was able to wrap that up pretty seamlessly against Jared Grimes. So hoping to just do that again. And I gotta say, I think the MVP here is that Zamazenta for Raymond.
Yep, just finding the right opportunity to use that Pokemon really helped out there, and the threat of Zamazenta is almost better than Zamazenta at some points.
That is very true.
Pidgeot B in the prize cards, it's not great. That is the only B in the deck.
Yeah, I mean, there is Hisuian Heavy Ball at least, but...
Yep.
All right, and then there was, I think it was just a couple Battle VIP pass on Jared Grimes' side of the prize cards. Did you see anything else too detrimental there, Kyle?
Yeah, not too bad. Just a lot of item cards, but I mean that's what the deck is built around. It plays 30 something of them, so be prepared for that. And this is one of the scariest turns that you can have as a Chentrao player. Going first, although it sounds correct, it can be so bad. But thankfully, for Seal Stone, it's going to line up that Battle VIP pass.
Yeah, it's going to be used a little bit differently this time. It's going to be for that initial setup here for Jared Grimes. Kind of a way to bail you out of a rough first turn start so you can maintain as much momentum as possible, because you need these Pokemon down. That Manaphy, that Radiant Greninja for extra draw as well. You need to get your Frigibax down. You need a lot of Pokemon for this initial setup. So Jared Grimes going to be on the right track thanks to that V-Star power off the 4 Seal Stone. Frigibax going to come out onto the field, as well as the concealed cards, into 2 additional energy here.
Yeah, was that Shivery Chill or Radiant Greninja?
I know, right?
That stunk. You don't want all those energies just yet. But this is going to be just fine. The one Frigibax, it looked like there was another in hand, but chose not to play that. And just understanding your opponent's deck, it's not going to fall while Manaphy's in play.
Yeah, and you can see that Jared Grimes is moving pretty smoothly here with a nice good pace, because we do have 15 minutes left on the clock here, so we're gonna have to make sure Jared can come out with a win here. Otherwise, if it's gonna go to time, Raymond Long is gonna take it home, having won that first game. So we'll see how this initial turn sets up here for Raymond. Already starting off with 1 card in the Lost Zone. It's gonna be 2 thanks to that Colress's Experiment, but the Manaphy starting in the active, which I guess is not too bad, huh? I mean, would have been nice.
This is Raymond's first look at any cards from the deck, and he sees the Hisuian Heavy Ball and throws away 2 water energies. Sure enough, will get rewarded as he sees the Pidgeot V, and I believe he held onto a 4 Seal Stone.
Yeah, that is very true.
It hurts so much to just lose 2 water energies from the jump. You have 2 left. That's if you ever want to use Kyogre, that's it. If you ever want to use Greninja, that's it.
Yeah, that's very true. That is definitely scary. But I guess just taking that calculated risk, and is going to get at least that Pidgeot V from that Hisuian Heavy Ball. So just going to be a quick replace here. Hisuian Heavy Ball, of course, allowing you to take any Pokemon that is a basic Pokemon out of your prize card. So this is going to get that for Raymond Long. But yeah, as you said, Kyle, at the cost of those 2 water energy, we'll see how it plays out in the future of these turns and in this match.
Oh, Jared actually is holding the Spiritomb, it looks like, in hand. Could have had that down on the bench and maybe avoided the Vanishing Wings that we'll likely see. And that would have been those 2 prize cards that we talked about last game, where if you can knock out this Pokemon, you can definitely shore up that prize exchange.
Oof. Well, Raymond Long choosing what else to do here before bringing some more Pokemon out. But Nest Ball is going to bring a Pokemon out here from the deck.
Yeah, you have to expect Comfey is going to get some play at this point. You need to get cards into the Lost Zone. You need to continue to play the game. It's not going to be your ideal setup. You have the Manaphy already down. You can walk into that potential cross-switcher Cologne shenanigans and lose 2 prize cards early, which is something that we know Raymond wants to avoid.
Yeah, that is scary indeed. Knowing that canceling Colognes are aplenty in your opponent's deck. So we'll have to see what Raymond does. Of course, that Comfey coming out now.
You can see the look of dismay on Jared's face. Just his opponent no longer is Raymond. It's the clock. He knows that he has 13 minutes to try to win a game against a deck that has only single prize Pokemon from this point forward if Raymond chooses, which is very difficult to complete with all the actions.
Yeah, I was about to say a single prize Pokemon, like a million actions, lots of shuffling. The time is ticking, and it's ticking quick here. Raymond Long has a lot more to do on each of these turns, which is, I mean, why you see Jared kind of going at a nice pace here, not wanting to take too long on decisions. Raymond Long Lost Zone up to 3 now, debating the Pokestop here, and is going to bring it down. And Pokestop Ooh, wow, even more energy going down here. Of course, we do have ways to shuffle that energy back into the deck, but you're kind of using it in an awkward position versus kind of where you want to be using it more strategically.
Yeah, this just doesn't line up well anymore. So many metal energies already in the discard pile. You're not going to work towards the Zamazenta anytime soon. You only have 3 cards in the lost zone, and this is a turn where Jared could certainly capitalize and have a big swing, maybe even knock out 2 Comfeys in one turn with that Mana Fiend the active. All just depends on if he's got the right cards in hand, and he's got 57 of them.
Yeah, that's a lot of cards.
It's probably too many.
I'll say the wind from that shivery chill was so strong, it blew our camera around here. But yeah, Jerry Grimes
Oh, he got a
flying
cross switcher. That's so good.
through this turn here.
That was a
Cross
magical
switcher.
piece.
That was off the Pokestop.
That was huge, right off the Pokestop.
Nice.
Has the Canceling Cologne in hand. The Irida can search out. Is the pieces for the Baxcalibur already in hand? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't see it. All these cards are too shiny for me to see anything.
Yeah, it's probably going to have to be a next turn thing, but you know you can hold on to the hand if you are going to accelerate and take extra prize cards in a game with only 11 minutes left.
Yeah,
this is the way to do it.
Definitely, that is the way to do it. Rare Candy going to bring out a single Baxcalibur here for Jared. Energy coming out onto the field.
Play it cool. Take your knockout.
Play it cool.
Everything's fine.
There we go. Everything's fine. We're fine. 2 energy being discarded here to take a knockout from that Chien-Pao on that Comfey. Taking a prize card as well. Churning through these turns. Raymond Long going to start us off on this turn now with another Culver's Experiment. That's what we want to see. Some more cards getting stacked up into that lost zone here.
Are you? What?
What is it?
There's 2 more water energies. Go away.
What?
That's all of them.
Sheesh. Yeah, you have to keep that. Cramorant's going to be the first pick hitting the lost zone, bringing us up to 4 here. Yeah, Raymond holding these cards close, but
you know Raymond wants to use Cramorant. That's one of his favorite Pokemon to incorporate into the mix. Let's line up those knockouts for later on. He has to say no because he needs those water energies that bad.
Yeah.
And the rest of the options are bad too. It's Mirage Gate and a Colress Experiment.
Oh no. Are you serious?
He's considering throwing away a water.
The water? No way.
His attackers from this point forward become Zamazenta and Sableye.
It's the water. A 3rd water energy going into the lost zone here for Raymond.
We are not playing to win a game at this point. There's 9 minutes left, and you have no more energies to go. I mean, certainly there's ways. You can reuse the Zamazenta multiple times, targeting down Pokemon EX. Well, if they're in the active spot, of course, that would be perfect for you, but this is not lining up well.
Yeah, I was about to say, how did it get so clunky all of a sudden? I don't know. We see this Pokestop bringing 2 items into the hand here. Sableye going to the discard pile. Just another card. Ooh, the Artisan. It's bumping that Pokestop Stadium and coming into play here.
Yep, 6 cards in the lost zone, I believe. So still 1 away from the Mirage Gate, but Zamazenta starting to get closer and closer.
Yeah, I think, is Raymond shuffling or going into the deck? I can't tell.
He's in the deck right now.
Okay, on the Artisan?
Has to decide if it's Comfey time or Zamazenta time.
Yep, it can be any Pokemon here off that Artisan that is a basic non-rule box Pokemon. So just bringing out a Pokemon here, just deciding what to take out of the deck.
Jared's just waiting on the other side. Please make an action. I need to do things. At this point for Jared, you have to have 2 prize cards remaining by the time the time is called. So actions need to move quickly.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, we're sub 8 minutes now on the clock here for both of these players.
Yep, certainly possible. You need to show that Pokemon, and it is Comfey.
Yeah, that's not any card. That is a Pokemon that has to be searched out from that Artisan. Any card in the Pokemon TCG that's requires a certain card to be searched out. That card search has to be revealed, so you know you're not taking anything sketchy out of the deck.
Don't just take your opponent's word for it. Stop. There's 2 more energy.
wait, what?
That's
what
the
was
last
it?
metal energy and a psychic energy.
No. Oh my god.
I mean, obviously you can get it back from the super rod,
Yeah,
but this just
true.
stinks.
That's a lot.
There's nothing left in the deck to Mirage Gate right now. You have to use the super rod early.
I mean, I feel like that was already going to happen. There's so many Pokemon energy in the discard pile right now here for Raymond. It's just so awkward and clunky. All of these decisions, the cards are just not hitting in the way that you usually want them to hit in these Lost Box matches. But Forest Seal Stone going to come down onto the field on that Pidgeot V. We're going to see the flip of that V-Star marker for any card here to be sought out of the deck on Raymond Long's side.
This one you are allowed to keep a secret, so
that's true.
Certainly do just that. And I think Raymond's saying he's going to go back in. This is Zamazenta time, so we'll see this Pokemon played down. It's probably going to be a Super Rod to bring those metal energies back into the deck.
Yep.
Then bring those right back into play with the Mirage Gate for a big knockout. Ooh, it's Recycler. We don't need Kyogre. All the water energies are gone.
That's true. All right, here we go. After that energy recycler, getting those energy back into the deck, they're going to be sought out of the deck here off that Mirage Gate that is activated thanks to the Lost Zone being up to 7 cards. We see another one here to power up the rest of these energy required. Of course, they have to be different types of energy being sought out off the Mirage Gate, but that's easy peasy. Well, it would be a lot easier if you had more energy in there, but easy peasy to do when you have all these different types of energies.
Well, there's weakness on there, but it doesn't matter. This is Super Knockout.
Super Knockout.
You don't get extra prize cards, but it sure does feel good, especially when you're up a game with 5 minutes remaining. Jared definitely has a lot of work left to do. But it's possible from here. I mean, the Pidgeot's still on board. If you want to cash in on those prize cards, maybe you do that now, or you surprise your opponent with that Spiritomb and lock it in play still.
Yeah, that is true. We saw that in the last game happen. That could potentially happen again. Frigibacks going into the active position here from Jared. As we kick off this turn, we're finally going to see that rare candy into the second Baxcalibur on the field.
Yep, this is the lines. You have the Baxcalibur to knock out the Zamazenta. Irida can continue to search out some more strategies, the cross switchers, but I think if you just play down the Spiritomb, you can hold off on that turn for the knockout, and then use the cross switchers before your opponent can use a card like Roxanne.
That is very true, and I think that's what Jared is eyeing up, the Spiritomb being brought to the front of the hand.
I'm worried.
Here.
No, he's throwing it away with Superior. He doesn't care. Well, this might just be attack the Pidgeot V now. The other option is you could promote the Manaphy and then use your Radiant Greninja to knock out some Comfeys.
So you're like, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. Pidgeot prize cards are just not a thing. It just can't happen. And sure enough, this Pokemon's just going to fly away.
Yeah, that Pokemon's going to fly away. And this Pokemon right here is getting sprayed with some fancy cologne. Ooh. That canceling cologne. Getting spritzed onto this Manaphy. And we're going to start taking some knockouts here on Jared's side with that Radiant Greninja.
Walking through the mall. You don't get a choice.
Tell you what, that Manaphy smells real good, though.
Well, we'll see. I think, honestly, you just take the Comfeys. You want to leave the Manaphy in the active spot and make this very difficult for Raymond.
That's what I'm saying. It smells good.
Yeah, stay up there. You can keep smelling good.
Keep smelling good. All right, we see that double knockout here for Jared Grimes on both those Comfey. Wiped off the field. Now we're on Raymond Long's side. Yep, that Pidgeot V not being stopped here by a Spiritomb in this turn. The bench is full on Jared Grimes' side.
This is the window. I mean, Raymond, of course, can identify this, shuffle this Pokemon away, and try to target down the Radiant Greninja. If you knock that Pokemon out, maybe it's more difficult to take the 2 prize cards. But in this situation, with no Comfeys in play, you just don't play anything with under 90 hit points.
Yeah. Well, Artisan's going to be used at least right now for Raymond.
Yes, it seems so tough for Raymond in this spot. If you play down another Pokemon like a Sableye or anything that you'd like to typically attack with in situations like this. You walk into another Cologne plus Cross Switcher, whatever it may be. If you attack with Zamazenta, you're only attacking into a 1-prize Pokemon, and it's bench Kyogre with no water energies.
Well,
does this smell like time or what?
Yeah, I'd say so. 130 HP Kyogre joining the field here on the bench. Lots of actions here, Kyle.
Thinning is winning. Get
Lots
that Pokemon
of action.
out of the deck. See some opportunities with that Colress experiment. At this point, you're just trying to burn a minute 45.
Oh, yeah, that is tough to see that this is kind of how it's ending here, but all of these actions being played out here. That Colress's experiment going to put 2 additional cards into the lost zone from Raymond. Yeah, I think we've seen a lot in this game that has looked very confusing.
Yeah,
from an outside perspective.
Exactly.
If there's no clock there, you're like,
Yeah.
what's happening right now?
This guy won regionals? No, these are actually just optimal plays right now that he's making. As you know that you've already won a very long opening game. Just continue to play Pokemon. If the clock ends up helping you in these situations, you take it. And right now, you have plenty more actions to use, and it looks like you got the retreat there. Zamazenta's going to have to take this knockout, but there's still a little time left. If Jared could attack before zeros,
Oh, yeah.
I feel pretty comfortable about this spot. Let's see if he identifies this.
Yeah, let's see.
45 seconds remaining.
45 seconds here for Jared Grimes. Is he going to be moving fast enough? Starting off with that Shivery Chill, getting those energy out of the deck here off that Chien-Pao.
Of course, you can use these cards. You can line up the Pokestop. You know you're walking into Roxanne territory, but just, I don't know if you have time for these cards. You just need to attack.
26 seconds here. Super Rod going to be used. The clock is ticking down. 20 seconds for Jared Grimes.
You have to shuffle from this point. You have to attach energies. You have to take a prize card, and you need your opponent to draw a card.
Yeah.
There's just not enough time.
I'm scared, Kyle. I'm scared.
It's spooky season.
It's spooky season. I'm definitely spooked here. And there's not even a Spiritomb or Sableye in sight. That is the timer here.
Oh, this is so tough. You see Jared could take the knockout on Zamazenta.
Yeah.
And there is a world where you use the Radiant Greninja, knock out Manaphy, and try to knock out another Pokemon. There is no Echoing Horn in this deck, so you can't bring another Pokemon out of the discard pile. And the option of the Pidgeot is gone. It was shuffled back into the deck. A missed opportunity with Spiritomb last turn.
Yep, but that is going to be time. That means there's just those 3 additional turns, and it starts on the player who initiated the time clock. So Jared's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
He knows I'm only going to have 1 turn. There's no way I can make this work here. And Raymond Long is going to take the win here.
Not much you can do in those spots, but obviously well played from both players, trying to identify ways to close out in those situations. I mean, that's just how it goes. You have 50 minutes plus 3 turns to try to get the job done. And when you play a very long game like that, you're going to see a slugfest in the end.
What is the valuable lesson here from this match, Kyle, for our viewers?
Don't let the birdie fly away. It definitely seemed like there were windows where you could close out on the prizes. It doesn't feel right because you're targeting down this random Pokemon that's
not doing
nothing
anything
for the board. But at some point, you just have to look over and identify if you take all 6 prize cards, the game ends.
Don't let the birdie fly away. You heard it here. Maybe in this matchup, think about things a little differently potentially, but here you.
Like, what do I do?
Yeah, there's like, I don't know. What do I do here? But
this is number 1. This was the big identifier for me that I started to lose a little faith. The cross switches on the Zamazenta, although it seems okay in the moment because you're removing this Pokemon from play and potentially keeping that Chien-Pao in play, you're not taking 2 prize cards on a cross switcher turn. That has to be the objective every time that you're using those cards.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw things be decided a little bit differently here, and Raymond Long responding with that Zamazenta that was able to take some knockouts on these easily targeted down Chen Pao. So that's where we were seeing these prize cards come from. Each of those Chen Pao is 2 prize cards for Raymond. Plus, there's so much potential in the later game, as you saw all of this damage on the board here on Jared Grimes' side, and Raymond was able to just lock things up as well with Sableye down the line too. We did see that cool move with the Spiritomb coming down to lock in that Pidgeot, but it ended up not being relevant.
Yeah, where were the resources? All cross switchers gone from this point. Did have the big pop-off turn there with the canceling Cologne double knockout.
Yeah.
But at this point, Raymond was able to set up a checkmate. 3 prize cards, and then any Pokemon that attacks through, knocked out from Zamazenta.
Yep, exactly. We see all of those damage counters being placed, taking 3 additional prize cards there. And things were locked up there for that game. Raymond Long being down a game, or sorry, should I say up a game. And Jared Grimes trying to make things work here in game 2.
I mean, from this point, it was just a cross switcher away from the turn of a century. Just double knockout on the Comphase, Manaphy in the active spot. I don't think you lose from a situation like that, but obviously it was up to Pokestop. Only saw 1 cross switcher, wasn't able to get the job done there.
Yeah, that would have been epic to see indeed. Jared Grimes able to get that canceling Cologne on that Manaphy, and this is what we were kind of seeing for the strategy here to take these knockouts with Radiant Greninja. We saw both of those Comfey go down into the discard pile thanks to that canceling Cologne, but it just wasn't enough. Right
there, if that Chen Pao is a Spiritomb, maybe Pidgeot stays on board, and then you can line up those 2 knockouts you need in turn 0 and turn 2, but it's just not possible here. Just plays out his actions of the turn, tries to find some help, and the most help you were going to find was a prize card about 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, true. That is very true. Unfortunately, that's how things turned out in the end of this game here. Jared Grimes extending the fist bump there, ending with Raymond Long taking down that round 7 match, which means Raymond Long locking up a day 2.
Yeah, I mean, looking very good too. The deck seems so strong, and it's on pace with everything else we've seen in the format. It can really keep up with so many different decks, and a lot of players don't believe in the list. We saw Azul's group try this. It was working okay, but of course they've obviously switched over now. We see Charizard out in the field, but
lots of Charizard.
he believes in this list, and it lines up pretty well against the Chen Pao, and we saw that just there. Those single prize Pokemon are tough to deal with.
Well, you play Chen Pao. Which list do you